This is our curtain call segment with the Capital Center for the Arts. And from the Capital Center for the Arts is Lynne Sabean. Lynne, how are you today?
I'm doing well. Pleasure to be here as always.
Move a little closer there. Don't be shy. And this is curtain call. And last time we talked with Josh Ritter, and Josh is coming up October 13th at the Capital Center for the Arts, and it's sponsored by.
That is sponsored by the Dupree Companies. Steve Dupree is a very well-known business person in the Concord area, very well-known also for his generosity to businesses such as the Capital Center for the Arts. As our listeners may or may not know, it's very expensive to put on these shows, and we really couldn't do it without the help of our sponsor companies.
So the Dupree Companies sponsoring Josh Ritter on October 13th. But today we're going to be talking with a member of the group Guster, which is a New England group. They formed at Tufts University in Medford, Massachusetts, and have become very, very successful over the years. And let's see, they have 7 full-length studio albums already, and going strong. And I tell you what, this should be a fabulous show. I know you're going, Lynne.
I sure am.
Yeah. And it's going to be a great show at the Capital Center for the Arts, a great venue, a relatively intimate venue for a show like this, which is terrific. And looking forward to that on the 16th of September. Now, before we talk to Ryan, he'll be calling in a few minutes, so we get an opportunity to do this. Let's talk about, this is a great idea. It's called a new Concord Arts Community Meetup Group. Tell us about it, Lynne.
Sure. Well, Meetup is an online social networking portal, and it helps facilitate people getting together actually offline to go together and like-minded individuals to do various events. And doing our research and finding out not only who goes to the Capital Center for the Arts, but who might like to but doesn't for one reason or another, we found that there's a certain subset of people that just don't like to go to places by themselves.
Correct,
they may be sitting in a dark room for 2 hours, but they want to know the person that's sitting on either side of them. And so we decided to put together a meetup group for the Capital Center and also for other arts organizations within Concord. As you know, Concord has a very flourishing arts community, to really encourage people to just get out and experience the arts.
That is a fabulous idea because for whatever reason, there are those times when people find themselves wanting to go to a show, whether it be at the Capital Center for the Arts, specifically in this case, and don't have anybody that can go with for various reasons. Well, maybe they don't know anybody who likes that particular performer, or whatever it is, but that doesn't really matter. But this is terrific. Great idea. So how can people get involved?
Well, people can go to meetup.com. It's absolutely free for members to join. However, there can be cost associated to going to the various events.
Oh, sure. Yeah. But great idea. Great idea. It's not really a dating site per se.
No. But I am aware of people that have gotten together, and some who've also married as a result of being on various different types of meetup groups. So you never know.
Yeah, you don't. No, you don't. But it's a great, great idea, and take advantage of it, really, and enjoy the arts. And specifically, Capital Center for the Arts in downtown Concord, a fabulous theater. And your fall flyer was just mailed out last week as well.
We did. It should be hitting people's mailboxes this week. And if you can't wait that long, go to our Facebook page. We have a link to it. You can find it online. Save a tree.
Right, exactly. Or you can go to ccanh.com and find out all the information there as well. And a good thing to know, and I was looking at some of the information for the upcoming shows, and it's especially good financially if you buy your tickets ahead of time.
Especially for shows like Guster, that's right. We have certain artists that come in now that tack on a premium if you buy your tickets the day of the show. So
find out about that online and save some money. You're going to go anyway, so you might as well save a few bucks and do it that way. So just bear that in mind when you're looking at the the website for the Capital Center for the Arts, and it doesn't apply to every show that they do, but in this case, it does. So that is terrific. This is our curtain call segment. Lynne Sabean is here from the Capital Center for the Arts in Concord, and we're awaiting a call from Ryan Miller. And if you're familiar with the group Guster, Ryan is their lead singer and one of their guitarists as well. And they will be at the Capital Center for the Arts on Friday night, September 16th. So it's only a couple of weeks away from tomorrow, 8 p.m. So get your tickets now.
Your listeners may know Guster not only from Satellite, but also for a number of other hits they've had through the years, including Amsterdam, Parachute, and Do You Love Me?
I tell you, they have been a prolific band over the years. I know they have been together since 1992. And as we said, they met at Tufts. I want to hear that story because Tufts is a great university, and I didn't know it was known for its music. I know they're known for dentistry and a number of other things, but it is a great school and in beautiful Medford, Massachusetts. And I believe we have Ryan on the line. Ryan Miller, how are you?
Hello, how are you?
Doing very well. Ken here along with Lynn. And where are you calling us from today, Ryan?
From beautiful Burlington, Vermont.
You know, and it is beautiful in Burlington. Love downtown Burlington, Vermont.
Yeah.
Are you living in that area or doing a show up there, or why Burlington?
Yeah, I moved here 6 years ago. I lived in New York City for a long time, and I had a couple kids, and that was that.
Well, it is
So we moved.
it's a great place. I mean, Burlington is terrific, and we're talking about you guys getting together at Tufts University in Medford, which is very close to where I grew up. I grew up in Melrose, right the next town over.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and so did you go to Tufts for music or what else?
Oh, no.
No.
No, none of us were music majors. We're all sort of liberal arts guys. Adam has a degree in psychology. Brian has a degree in American studies, and I have a degree in religious studies. So no.
So and nobody in dentistry though, huh?
No, there's a good dentist that came out of there, but none of us. No, we didn't. Actually, those guys did okay at school, but we formed the band pretty much near the first day of school. I mean, we all met at our orientation program, and we started writing songs, freshman year. So we, I don't think any of us thought we'd be 43-year-old men still in the band, but we started playing really early on.
So let me ask you this: you went to Tufts. You met the first day you were there. Where was your first gig?
Our first gig was on campus at the campus, commons area. And then our first off-campus show was actually at was at Harvard, which was at an eating club or something.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Booked by a friend, and then our first off-campus show, I think, like in a bar, was in Harvard Square.
I thought it might be somewhere in Cambridge or Boston, yeah, and yeah, terrific.
It sort of tells the story of the band. I mean, we just started playing at school, and then we just kind of expanded the circles, and we started playing, in Boston, and we played New Hampshire a lot, actually, and then we started going to New York City, and then we sort of go to the Midwest, and that was we just got in the van and traveled around for many years. Never stopped.
Ryan, we've got an awful lot of fans of Guster that work at the Capital Center for the Arts, and the question that a lot of them wanted to know is, will there be a meow mix, and if so, what song?
I don't know that we've ever taken our songs and had somebody meow over them live, even though we did do that for an album as a joke once. So I'm not opposed to that. I mean, if anything, I think maybe what we should do is have somebody from the audience do it. So let's just say if you have whoever asked that question, if they feel so inspired, just to write us an email, and do a meow version featuring their cat style music.
We may be able to put a chorus of cats together. We are a performing arts center, after all.
Here we go. Let's do this.
Now, I did notice on Guster.com that there's a place where fans can go and request a song if they happen to be going to one of your shows.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, that's, we've been a band for a long time, and obviously the only reason we're still playing is because people still show up. So we try and keep a dialogue with our audience as much as possible, and website, we kind of put that up as just to see how it goes, but it lets us gauge, how some of our fans, if they're like, oh, there's this old song we don't really play that much, there is interest there, or, because we tend to play, we kind of vary it up, and we have 8 studio albums, but it's nice to know, it's nice to take the temperature of what people are interested in, and we definitely pay attention to that, for sure.
So 8 studio albums, that is something, although you have been around, for like 25 years now?
I mean, we met in 91. It depends. My drummer and I disagree on what our first show ever was the 3 of us, although we hadn't written any songs in 1991. So I'm calling it 25, but Brian thinks the band doesn't really form until 92. So, and that would be 25 years next year. So I think we might actually call it 25 next year.
Next year.
But,
all right.
Yeah.
Well, either way.
Been a long time.
Either way, you've made a lot of fans over the years, without question, and I'm sure there are fans that have seen many Guster shows over the years.
Yeah, I mean, now it's sort of like we'll see some grown women who come up to us and say, "I've been listening to you since I was a kid," or kids that grew up, or grown people that said, or fans that we had a long time ago are having their own kids now, so they'll bring 8 or 10-year-olds to concerts, and it's sort of become a generational thing in some kind of way. So, that's obviously pretty incredible for a lot of reasons. Having just been around, I mean, people show up to concerts with like a lifetime of listening to our music in some cases, and that we don't take that for granted. It means a great deal to us, and has a lot to do with how why we're still around.
Ryan, you have a lot of projects going on outside of Guster too. I was reading that you composed some film scores, and that there was also a PBS series in Vermont called Making Friends with Ryan Miller. Is that still on?
Yeah, we just filmed an episode a month or so. It's sort of an ongoing thing, the PBS show. It was sort of a response to me moving up here from New York City and having spent all the time in New York City and LA, and kind of having a hard time with the culture shock of not living in a city anymore, and where are all the high functioning weirdos hiding. So it's been a really fun thing. I've actually made a lot of friends through the show, and it's been a fun way to explore Vermont and kind of tease out some of the more interesting characters. And the same thing with film scoring. It's a way for me to stay creative when we're not on the road. We started having families and kids. Our first round, we all had kids right around the same time, and all our daughters born within a few months of each other, and they all just, started turning 8. So right around then, I think I was just trying to figure out what I was going to do with my life, since I wasn't going to live on a bus 12 months a year anymore. And I really like film, and sort of fell into that, and I'm working on my 12th film as we speak. So that's been really fun, and just a great way to stay creative and immerse myself in another creative community. So it's been great.
Can you tell me what your criteria for high-functioning weirdos is? I'm sure we're going to have some Vermont patrons coming in, and some of them may want to audition for you.
Well, you gotta do something cool. That's the high-functioning part. Like, make something, or I think there's a lot of people who do something really well, and I guess that's sort of the high-functioning part. And then the weirdo thing is sort of self-explanatory. Anything left of center, or it's kind of easy to be weird too. But that combo of being really great at something and also being weird is sort of my lethal combo for everything in life.
So
If
fabulously,
I can find that, I'm pretty happy.
so fabulously eccentric.
Yes, very
Okay.
good. Definitely fabulously eccentric. Yes. Sure.
Ryan Miller is here from Guster. They will be at the Capitol Center for the Arts in 2 weeks, 2 weeks from tomorrow, Friday, September 16th at 8 p.m. I also understand that one of your songs was used in an ad for the Weather Channel.
Really?
That's what I'm reading. I have some random tidbits here. It says one of the
Wow.
band's songs was used in an ad for the Weather Channel.
Well, that's awesome.
Is that news to you?
It is news to me, and I should track that down and get my $9.17.
You should. Man, every
I
little
cannot
bit
imagine
counts.
I cannot imagine that was a lucrative contract.
It must
But,
not have been if
yeah.
you weren't aware of it.
Yeah, I think, we've had our run, we've had a lot of our songs show up in a lot of film and TV stuff. Not that many things in commercials. I mean, I've written a bunch of commercials as part of my film scoring stuff, but and that's been sort of fun, but that's more under the radar. So, no, I'll find out about I'll find out about that Weather Channel thing. It'll
Hey,
buy
you-
me a sandwich.
You would better look into that. Yeah.
I'm gonna find me a sandwich.
Now, since your days at Tufts, you've added some members to the group. Hello, Ryan? I think we lost him. I think we lost the connection to Ryan Miller of Guster. But he
Okay,
was.
sorry about that.
There you are. Okay, there you are. How has the personnel changed since those days at Tufts?
Well, we started as a trio, and we made I think we made 3 records as a trio, or 4 records as a trio, and right around our 4th record, we had started playing different instruments. We stopped playing, when we started, it was bongo, drums, and acoustic guitar, and right around our 4th album, Keep It Together, we started playing drums and bass and keyboards, and so we just got an extra set of hands on the road. It's our friend Joe Zapia, and he ended up being in our band, as a full-on member for 7 years, and then he kind of decided he wanted to be more of a homebody, and he was working with Katie Lang and did other stuff, so he left, and our friend Luke Reynolds came in, and that was 7 years ago. So, we've been a 4-piece longer than we haven't been a 4-piece, and there's only been 2 guys, and then we have lots of people play on stage with us. So our drum tech will play drums on some of the new stuff. So it's a pretty fluid thing on the but for the most part, the core group has remained. The 3 of us that started the band are still in the band.
Terrific.
Ryan, our patrons are really excited about the opportunity to win a meet and greet with the band. Can you tell us a little bit more what that lucky winner might expect?
I mean, I wish it would make us more exciting than it is. Basically, after the show, we go and we shake their hands, and then hopefully we're present, and there's some nice, small talk, and usually people ask to take a picture, and that's kind of it. I don't know. I mean, we should maybe make it more exciting. Like, we should go, skydiving or something. Now that you're articulate it in this way, doesn't sound very exciting. Yeah, I don't know.
Better be careful. We have some skydiving areas nearby.
Well, listen, if any of those skydiving instructors, want to invite us up to the plane, I'm happy to trade a meet and greet for a skydiving lesson. No
Ooh.
problem.
Wow, you hear that, folks? Wow, that's really. Have you done that before, Ryan?
No.
Oh no!
I'd love to.
Oh wow!
No. Let's
Well,
do it.
You never know. Maybe you might have just made it happen. Who knows?
Let's do some stuff.
All right. But I'm sure to your fans, just meeting you and taking a picture with you guys is a big thrill. Maybe you don't think it's a big thrill for them, but I'm sure it is.
I'm sure it depends. It's hard for me to really. I mean, yes, I totally appreciate what you're saying, and I definitely, respect that people come to these concerts or, and I meet people every day, who come up and say, hey, are you in the band? I really saw you there, or my roommate really liked you, blah, blah, blah. And it's always very casual and cool, and it's weird, and it's almost never intrusive. So, it's all, this stuff about appreciating your fans is not lip service. It's felt very deeply. So, I think part of that is just some humility on my part of feeling like I'm just a guy that plays some songs, and we've kind of been lucky enough to keep doing this for a long time,
Exactly.
Ryan, we were talking a little bit before you got on the air about some of the songs that our listeners might know Guster from, but you're also known for some of the humorous covers of songs by other bands, including the theme from Cheers.
I mean, maybe. I think we walked out to the theme from Cheers a long time ago. I don't know where you're getting this information, but you have some listen, we've been around, but the Cheers thing, and I also think the Weather Channel thing are pretty old stuff.
It's old stuff, huh?
Well,
maybe. I don't know. I'm not throwing anybody under the bus, I hope. No, I mean, maybe we covered Cheers. We played, I think in our years of, especially on our early touring, there was probably a good 15 years we were on the road 6 to 9 months a year. And I think part of it for us was always just trying to break it up by doing stupid things that would make us laugh and hopefully make our fans laugh. So, yes, definitely, we've done a lot of dumb covers. And then there was a whole series where I would pick my least favorite song in the world, and then we would cover it but make our drummer sing it because he's a terrible singer, and that would somehow redeem the song. There's a song by this band Temple of the Dog called "I'm Going Hungry" that I just loathe and with every fiber of my being. So we would do that every once in a while, where Brian would sing that, and he's just the worst singer, but it made it so fun. So yeah, I mean, those kind of things again, just like. I think the idea is if it can entertain us and make us laugh, then hopefully it can do that, even though we're not, comedy troupe. But things like that, I think, if those things can happen in our set organically and they don't feel forced, then we're up for trying stupid stuff like that all the time.
So I have the feeling, I've never seen you in concert, but I have the feeling you don't do cookie cutter type shows, that like every show is different.
Yeah, I mean, again, people come with certain expectations of songs. So, I don't think there's very many shows that go by where we don't play Satellite just because it's a well-known song for our band. But, we don't. And, if, like I said, with eight records, 10 songs each, we have a catalog of 100 songs or something, and we only get to play 20 to 5 a night. So, some of those songs never get played, and some of them get played almost every night. But for the most part, yeah, we try and mix up the set list as much as we can, and we like to lean on some of the newer material because that's a lot more fun and visceral for us. And also, I like to engage with people, and there's no, it's fun to let people know that they're appreciated and that, I don't know, we just try and make it very real as much as possible. So hopefully it's not a cookie cutter show.
You were talking a little bit earlier about how some of your original fans are now bringing their kids to your shows. What music are you introducing your own kids to?
Well, it's funny because my wife and I are sort of we got a record player not too long ago, so we're doing a lot of vinyl listening just because I like that.
Nice.
My daughter's 8, my son is 6, so they can pick up a record and look at the art, and we can tell story. This is what it, that kind of thing. So it's a little bit more visceral, but then my kids will know all this pop stuff from the radio because my wife will listen to full-on pop radio in the car. So they're getting a nice diet. I mean, obviously I've tried from a really young age just to kind of get them into, I think the staples like the Beatles and Marvin Gaye and Van Morrison and the Kinks and the Beach Boys and the Talking Heads and, but there's a lot of stuff that, my daughter's really super into Bjork because we were watching a lot of Bjork videos for a while. So I don't know. It's a real mix. We listen to a lot of different kinds of stuff in the house, and right now they seem to have pretty good taste. So, but it is definitely a thing. There's some stuff that's going to slip through, and I'm just going to be like, oh, I can only imagine what my dad felt like when I was like, yeah, we got to go see Motley Crue. You know what I mean? So, I'm sure there will be an equivalent as they get older.
Is Guster available at all on vinyl?
Yeah, we have all our records on vinyl.
Really? Oh, okay.
last three or four. Yeah.
It's coming back, right?
I love it. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's so fun.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like one of my favorite things to do now when I go to, in any little town is to go, to go to the record stores, because I stopped buying CDs a long time ago, but now I have a reason to go to record stores again and go vinyl, go crate digging in Goodwills and Salvation Armies or thrift stores. I've actually found some really cool music that way, just stuff that I would never listen to otherwise.
Oh, that's great.
Well, put a little time in your schedule. We've got a great record store just a couple blocks down from the Capitol Center called Pitchfork Records.
Oh, awesome. Will do. Absolutely.
Well, we look forward, Ryan Miller, to seeing you and Guster at the Capitol Center for the Arts Friday, September 16th. There are still some tickets available, we understand, but they're going quickly, so we encourage people to get them while they still can. So looking forward to that, and you've been a terrific guest, and we certainly appreciate your time.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And I'll find out about that Weather Channel thing.
Yeah, do that. Do a little research.
Right.
All right.
And we'll see what we can do about getting you some skydiving lessons.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, cool.
There you
that
go.
would be awesome. Yeah.
There you go. Ryan Miller, thanks so much.
Thanks, guys. Have a great day.
Take care. And Lynn, thank you. Curtain call. That was super. The guests have been great so far.
It is, and we've got more coming up down the line. We just today got confirmation that Charles Ross, who does a show called One Man Star Wars, is going to be coming up in a couple months.
One Man Star Wars.
One
Wow.
Man Star Wars. That's going to be a great radio interview, I have a feeling.
Looking forward to that. Yeah. Very good. Well, more information, ccanh.com or the Facebook page for the Capitol Center for the Arts. And you can give them a call as well, 225-1111. And Lynne Sabean, thanks so much.
Pleasure as always.
Another great curtain call in the books right here on The Pulse.